All eyes in the crypto community are on the Bitcoin halving that occurred on Saturday, April 20th. This event, which happens approximately every 4 years, is the fourth in Bitcoin's history and involves the halving of miners' rewards following the approval of new blocks added to the blockchain. This way, the system can reduce the frequency of new Bitcoin entering the system, aiming to reach the maximum threshold of 21 million circulating units, the maximum supply set by Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. Hey, my name is Dennis Riosa. I'm an economist passionate about financial markets and personal growth based in Italy, with the goal of improving financial education in Italy and all over the world. If you haven't already, please do me a solid and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, so with your help, we can teach people how to better manage their money. Now, let's dive into Bitcoin's halving and what you need to know about it. So the first halving dates back to November 28th, 2012, after the extraction of the first 210,000 blocks. On that occasion, the reward dropped to 25 digital coins for each new block. Subsequently, every other 210,000 blocks, it was further reduced to 12.5 Bitcoin on July 9th, 2016, and to 6.25 on May 12th, 2020. With the recent halving that just concluded, we are therefore going from the current 6.25 Bitcoins to 3.125 Bitcoins. The last Bitcoin halving is expected to be happening in the year 2140, coinciding with the reaching of the 21 million tokens in circulation. Something that's worth noting is that halvings always coincide with the US election years, one of the most significant macro events for financial markets. Whether this is a deliberate choice or not, it is not for us to know. We don't know that. But anyways, by reducing the reward, creating new blocks on the blockchain, which is done by solving complex mathematical problems through a powerful computer that entail high electricity and maintenance costs, the incentive to produce new Bitcoin is theoretically reduced. Halving has historically triggered supply shocks, which in turn have generated greater interest and speculation within the crypto community. But much also depends on the current value of Bitcoin. Generally, we can say that halving has led to price increases in the past. According to a research by CoinLedger, which is a company that provides tax advice on cryptocurrencies, in the 6 months following the last two halvings in 2016 and 2020, the value of Bitcoin increased by 51% and 83% respectively. Of course, the value of Bitcoin at the time of the halvings was significantly lower than it is now. In 2016, one Bitcoin was worth $650, and in 2020, it was worth $8,572. Well, this time it might be different. And why might that be? An in-depth study published a dozen days ago by the research team at 21 Shares, the first issuer of ETPs, exchange traded products, on crypto in Europe, states that the current market dynamics in which the halving of rewards will occur represents a unique situation in cryptocurrency's history, prompting a reassessment of its potential impacts. Well, firstly, as emphasized by the 21 Shares researchers, the 4-year halving effect has progressively diminished over time, with each subsequent event leading to a decrease in Bitcoin value growth rates. For example, Bitcoin saw a surge of about 5,500% in the 4 years following the first halving, followed by approximately a 1,250% in the cycle after the second halving, and about a 700% in the current cycle. This, of course, suggests a growing market maturity, which is a good thing for the cryptocurrency itself. The report also highlights how this Bitcoin halving occurs in a unique situation for several other reasons. Now, firstly, the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs marked a milestone in cryptocurrency history. And why? Because it opened the doors to traditional investors, and Bitcoin has grown by about 50% since the first day of trading. These ETFs, the study reads, have demonstrated staggering trading volumes signaling significant interest from traditional investors, reaching a new record of over 1 billion in one day on March 13th. Furthermore, Bitcoin is currently trading near its all-time high, $73,800, which was reached on March 14, 2024, whereas in the past, it always traded between 40% and 50% below before the halving. Finally, the study points out that the entry of institutional players is also changing the overall investment habits of Bitcoin investors, which brings in an increasing weight of long-term holders. And with the amount of Bitcoin held on the exchange, that has reached a 5-year low. If this trend continues, the supply of Bitcoin would become increasingly illiquid, laying the groundwork for a supply compression and consequently a potential strong price increase. This is what the analysts at 21 Shares say, who seem to have a very optimistic forecast for the post-halving future. What seems certain, however, is that the current supply and demand dynamics are very different from those of past halvings. So, what is there to expect? Well, that's a good question. In reality, it is impossible to predict what will happen because markets, all financial and crypto markets, are unpredictable. We can try to imagine what could happen by considering historical data, but we can't know for sure. What we do know is that more and more people and institutions are getting interested in Bitcoin, and producing them is becoming increasingly difficult. This should, and I repeat, should create a greater demand for Bitcoin compared to an increasingly limited supply. Please do remember that this is not financial advice, and before you do anything with crypto or financial markets, do your research and maybe talk to your financial advisor and see what's best for you. And speaking of research and financial benefits, I have recently uploaded a video about passive income that I suggest you watch. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Please do check it out and let me know what you think about it. There's some great information about passive income and how to get started on creating new streams of income. Now, that being said, I'm curious to know if you think the value of Bitcoin is destined to rise, or have we already reached the peak? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share these interesting videos with people who could benefit from the information and the content. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.